Well, hello and welcome back to Let's Play XCom Enemy Unknown. Forgive me if I go quite quickly, but this is probably going to end up being one of the more lengthy videos, and I've got a couple of things that I want to get through before I start. If you saw the last episode, you'll remember at the end that I was just waiting for some research to complete. So my plan was, in order to spare you having to see countless missions that were all pretty much the same, as everyone's probably been waiting a while now for the alien base, I said what I would do, I'd just hit fast forward, wait for the research to complete. If any missions came up, I'd just play through them off camera, and I would only upload them if there were significant missions. Well, as it happens, there weren't. I only had one mission, which was a VIP extraction. It was against Thin Men on that small square map with the fountain in the middle. Nice and easy. Completed without a hitch. I even managed to capture a live Thin Man, which was a complete waste of time because it gave me a research credit for UFO production, which obviously is the firestorm and the alien navigation and all that stuff, which I've already done anyway. On top of that, we now have heavy plasmas, which we have given to both of our heavies. We also have the alloy cannon, which our assault guy now has. And our shiv has also been upgraded to a plasma shiv as opposed to the laser shiv that it was before. The only one thing that I could really kick myself for doing, which I only noticed literally a few minutes ago when I was checking, is in the officer training school I hadn't purchased these 3 perks, and I could have bought them ages ago. I've certainly had the cash, I've had money knocking around for ages. So the higher a soldier's rank, the more likely they will be critically wounded instead of killed. This is an absolutely essential thing. I can't believe I hadn't bought that already. Wet work, 25% experience gained from kills additional. I hadn't bought that. It's kind of pointless now anyway, because most of my soldiers are near enough at the max rank, but, you know, might as well get it, I've got the money. And Iron Will, which means soldiers receive a larger will bonus each time they are promoted. Again, most of my soldiers are already at the max rank, so that's kind of wasted. Now, this could come around and bite me later on when I'm against ethereals and anything that uses psi attacks, but we will see how it goes. Apart from that, the only other thing I did was just some base maintenance, excavate a few more holes for buildings going in later, and the firestorms finished building, so it was just a case of moving everything to the right places, rearming them, and dismissing anything that we don't need anymore. Like these ravens, for example. So that's all nice and tidy, just waiting for those 2 firestorms to rearm so we can get rid of the interceptors. And we had our end of month report, which was A's across the board, and we got more scientists, more engineers, more money, all the usual. So, the alien base. We are as ready for this as we are ever going to be. So we're going to go for it. Right, it's definitely my plasma shiv because it's green. Plasma rifle on my support, heavy plasmas on my heavies, alloy cannon on my assaults, plasma sniper rifle. Everything is as it needs to be with one exception. I have no intention of trying to capture anything here, so you can have an alien grenade. I still can't believe I haven't upgraded pistols yet, actually. Not that I ever really used them, but okay. We are ready to go. Now, if there's one mission you really need to be careful on, it's this one. We're as tooled up as we're ever going to be to go into this mission.
Thanks to Dr. Vollen's research and some clever developments done in engineering, this skeleton key should allow you to breach the alien compound. You've only got one chance to make this work, though, so let's make sure we do it right.
Now, there's 3 objectives: penetrate the base defences, which is kind of automatic, neutralise all invader forces, which kind of goes without saying, and identify and capture the base commander if possible. Now, I've never actually captured him before. It's a sectoid commander, so essentially it's a sectoid that's a little bit higher health and can use psi abilities, but killing him seems to work just as well.
knows what they're doing to these people. All the more reason to blow them to hell. Get moving.
Now the base is relatively symmetrical.
So far, we don't have visual confirmation on the hostiles. I wouldn't get too comfortable, though. We're expecting heavy resistance. They're probably moving into position as we speak.
And we are in the middle here. And we have to kind of push forwards along this way. It's kind of a confusing layout unless you zoom. Well, you can't zoom all the way out, but the problem you have here is it is very easy for things to flank you, so you need to get up on these little sort of corridors to the side, and unfortunately you can't really afford to split up. I expect at some point to take damage on this mission. It'd be nice if I didn't, but I expect it. What can we expect on this mission in terms of enemy diversity? Well, at the very least we can expect mutons, elite mutons, cyberdiscs. Haven't had a sector pod here yet, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible to get them. Chrysalids is also a very real possibility. Thin men and sectoids are unlikely, but not impossible.
Well, it looks like we found where they've been taking the abductees, but that still doesn't explain what the purpose of all this is.
In honesty, I think the only thing that we're guaranteed not to have is ethereals. And that's only because you don't get ethereals until after this mission. Now I'm being cautious here because more often than not, there's a cyberdisc in this room on some of the nasties. And it's just I can't see them yet. And unfortunately, there's not a huge deal of cover. I also want to avoid grouping everybody really close together because one grenade could do a lot of damage if that's the case. That sounds like a muton. Okay, so again, you have to be mindful of things sneaking up on you here. Well, if that cyberdisc is there, I'm very surprised I haven't spotted it yet. Or it hasn't poked its head out yet. Again, you also have to be relatively careful that things aren't going to approach and attack from the sides. That can and probably will happen. I'm going to move my sniper out for a better view. Risky, but at least he's in a position where he can do some damage. It's kind of a waste because his pistol's not going to do nearly enough damage to take anything out should he need to, but what the heck. There's been times that I've almost killed a muton and left it with 1 health left, and it's then done some serious damage, and I thought, oh, if only I could have taken that 1 health off. Just a pistol shot away. So often on this particular map, moving from cover to cover means doing a dash. And the last thing you want is to be left without overwatch, so you end up making these little 3 square dashes between cover. Some doors opening. Also, if there's one mission If there's one mission where you think all the aliens should be dead by now, and then more appear, it's this one. Constantly. This really is the mission where every time you think you've got all the aliens, another one will appear. Can't get them close enough to the door yet, but at least I can put them there and I can put them on Overwatch. Not going to move my sniper just yet, but I'm certainly going to put him back on his plasma rifle. And this is a good sort of formation to try and use where you can on this map, is to kind of have the Shiv in the middle, because it doesn't use cover anyway, and use that as the scout. Have your sniper up high at the back, so it's covering the rest of your squad, and then have the remaining 4 guys sort of spread out. One heavy on either side, because it gives you the chance of using rockets and heat ammo on cyber discs. The assault should be at the front, and as much as you can, the support guy at the back, because you want to keep him safe. Although in a lot of instances, he's one of your better aims, and he's also got a decent amount of health.
Moving to Overwatch. Eyes on the prize. Roger, I got my eyes on.
This is one of those missions where you can just let the aliens come to you. They will do eventually. But as you still have to get to the last room to take out the commander, and it works kind of the same way that an outsider works in a ship, as in it won't actually activate until you go into the room. So you do have to go into that room to be able to complete the mission. So what I'm going to do for this round now is just pop everybody back onto Overwatch. I've stacked upon the door. On my next turn I will open the door.
Roger, I've got my eyes on.
This is also giving opportunity for anything that could be trying to sneak up on me and flank me to show up before I activate the next group of aliens. There's most likely going to be something right through this door.
Enemy spotted.
And there we go. Elite Mutons. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. %21% chance to hit isn't really much of anything. At the same time, I'm in full cover. This is always the risk. What do you do? Do you run away from the door and draw them out? Do you stay in there? I think what I may do, and this may not work out to my advantage, but I'm going to put both of them onto Overwatch. These guys can stay there as well, because they are essentially watching the rear. Shiv can't see him either, so he can go on Overwatch. See, I could use Flush, potentially, but it's still only got a 29% chance to hit, so it's kind of a waste. So, I'm in full cover. What I am going to do here, which I know is kind of useless for this shot, and he's not in cover. Can you make it behind the Shiv? He's going to be 1 square short. He's going to be 1 square short to make it behind the Shiv without dashing, which is a real pain. I'm going to do that anyway.
Touching down.
So, he's behind the Shiv and using the Shiv as full cover. And that's a miss on my heavy. Now, with any luck, the sniper should have a bead on him, and he does. 65% chance to hit. Not fantastic, is it? Because I don't have the altitude advantage, but we'll take the shot anyway. Well, it was a hit. Unfortunately, it wasn't a crit. But we've got double tap. Let's see if we can finish him off.
Kill confirmed.
Well, that's one less to worry about. We know there's still another one around.
Aye, aye.
Don't intend to stick my head out.
Roger that. Scanning.
The sniper is useful on this base map because it does have these long straight corridors. Unfortunately, our change alarmer isn't all that useful. And he gets another shot as well. 65% chance to hit. He'll probably miss it because he's already hit the last two 65%. Oh no, and he gets a crit. So we've now got him down to 1 health. Now unfortunately, we don't get a second shot because double tap has a 1 turn cooldown. I doubt I can lob a grenade that far. I could probably use a rocket, but it seems a bit of a waste. So let's be a little bit cheesy and just overwatch everything again. I know it seems like I'm going nowhere, which is, well, it's true. But you've got to clear these rooms out efficiently. Could I flush him? See, even flush still only has a 29% chance to hit. Oh, let's try it.
Flush him out.
So it missed, caused him to run. Unfortunately, he's no longer in my line of sight, which is a bit of a pain. Okay. Well. Let's move the shiv forwards. Maybe we can catch sight of him. On this instance, we cannot. And as always, we don't want to move people up too far. What I'm going to do here, put my sniper onto his pistol. Because let's be honest, it only has 1 health. So we only need to hit it with our pistol to kill it. So I'm going to get my other heavy stacking on the door. And I know I'm dashing here, but they should be fairly safe. I don't think there's anything behind us. Famous last words.
Got it covered.
Now, as brilliant as the alloy cannon is, it does still run out of ammo quite quickly if you start using flush, so we will have to be careful. Well, he really did bugger off, didn't he? I was going to say surely he can't be going all the way around to flank us from behind, but he very well could be.
Going in for the kill.
I'm going to run and gun. I'm going to go up here. And we've spotted him. Or at least we did spot him. Oddly enough, it's now telling me that there's no targets available. Which is annoying, so I'll have to leave him on Overwatch. And I think I'll do what I did before. Put my sniper on Overwatch with his pistol. And start to move some of the other guys up.
Got my eyes on. Got it covered.
I appreciate it must seem a little bit frustrating that I do play these missions quite slow. But unlike the original XCom, where you could quite happily use your guys as alien fodder, you can't really afford to be doing that here. Ah, now we have a cyber disc. And it's hard to tell with them overlapping. I can see a drone there for definite. Now the question is, I don't actually think any of my soldiers can actually see them. If I'm perfectly honest, I don't think they are in line of sight at all. It's just they happen to be far enough forwards on the map for me to be able to see them. So I'm going to start trying to move some people forwards
Got it covered.
to get a better shot.
Roger. Got my eyes on.
At least we know it's there. I don't want to move the ship forwards because that's more than likely just going to draw its attention. And we've still got that elite muton around as well. Let's just move you back to your rifle.
Roger. I got my eyes.
Because if that cyberdisc does move this way, and with any luck if our sniper actually takes a shot at it as opposed to the drone, well, it looks like we're going to have to move forwards because nothing seems to want to come say hello. Right, 2 drones there, and that's not the drone, it's with that cyberdisc. Also, these drones seem to have more health than your standard drone. Now, he has 2 targets, both drones. But we haven't pulled that cyberdisc yet, for whatever reason.
3 down.
So we might as well take these drones while we have the opportunity.
Dead and gone.
2 less to worry about. And I'm going to start moving heavies up. There are places on this map where you can almost shoot around the corners,
On Overwatch.
but to a large degree it does require moving to get a decent line of sight, so you can often lure the aliens around a corner
Got my eyes on.
into an ambush.
Come get some.
Unfortunately, it works both ways. Oh, one other tiny little thing I forgot to mention during the last mission as well is my second heavy got promoted, so now he's a colonel as well. So, yes, everybody's doing rather well. Now, let me just switch to the Shiv. We've still got this muton skulking around, which we don't know where it is. I'm actually not going to move my Shiv, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to reload a couple of people. I think while you've got the opportunity to reload, may as well take it.
Overwatch. Aye, aye.
That cyberdisc certainly doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move, so who am I to argue with that?
Roger that. Scanning.
I'm very interested to find out what happened to that muton that I flushed, though. There we go. So that was enough to wake that cyberdisc. Now, just out of interest here, pure curiosity, because these usually only have 3 health, and that cyberdisc's got more health than usual. I'm just checking something. See, it's gone on to classic. I set the difficulty of this game onto normal quite some time ago, and as you can see, this has now got, there's 4 less health on the cyberdisc and 2 less health on each of the drones. Now, it's been perfectly fine up to now, it's been on normal, but it's decided to turn itself back up to classic for this mission. Well, I'm not having that. And yeah, I'm playing on easy, and you know, maybe that's a bit of a wussy way out, but let's face it, the game cheats anyway. The whole point of XCOM is it's not fair. What a miss. It's also worth remembering that even normal isn't the easiest difficulty. There is a, well, easy difficulty, which is the one below this.
I'm on it.
And it's either in the most recent patch or in the upcoming patch. I think it was the most recent patch, the last one. They've actually made the easy difficulty level easier. So if they figured that the easy difficulty was potentially too hard, then the normal difficulty is also potentially harder than normal. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's move you around here so you've got cover behind you.
Roger that. Scanning.
Because somewhere that elite muton is still around, and I know I'm going to get caught out by it if I'm not careful.
Eyes on the prize.
Going to move forward, see if I can see either of them and lure them back. The Shiv should be able to hold its own against either of them. I guess it's feasible that they've gone through a door. But I have to admit, I didn't think they went through these doors without opening them, and you could actually see when they'd been opened, so... Not entirely sure at all on that one.
What the hell was that?
Well, that's a very good question. Okay, so we cannot see that muton. Nor can we see where that drone went. The drone definitely went up, so I can only assume it went through the door. Probably a completely incorrect assumption.
Roger. I got my eyes on. Affirmative. Covering now. On Overwatch.
But let's get everyone back to this door. We'll go through one door at a time, because it is marginally safer.
Shh. You hear that?
Of course, we know without a doubt that we've got something beyond that door. Unfortunately, it's a crappy little corridor system. It's very easy to get flanked.
Commander. On Overwatch.
I never really know what moves to make on this particular part of the ship.
Roger. I got my eyes on.
It's been very well designed in the sense that it forces you to kind of stick your head around the corner. So,
Hunt him down.
run and gun with my assault. put him here. It's still full cover.
Enemies in sight.
Okay, so we've got a Berserker and a Muton over there. And the Berserker's running away. That's fine.
They're starting to lose ground.
And we have a drone there. I'm also now being flanked. %100% chance to hit with a flush, but it won't crit. And I can't move backwards, so I may as well. And that's why the alloy cannon is brilliant. Now I'm still flanked. Fortunately, I don't have anybody in a position who can hit that goit. So, probably a bit of a sacrificial manoeuvre. I'll park my shiv in front of him because that now counts as him being behind full cover. Also going to get my sniper over here. Because let's be honest, that Berserker's going to come back at some point. I guess there you're still behind cover, aren't you? 45% chance of a hit. I guess we could suppress him. Because that suppression is useful in a couple of ways. One, it reduces his aim, so he's less likely to be able to hit my shiv or the guys here. He's gone on to Overwatch. Only got a 27% chance to hit, 57% chance to flush.
Put him in a body.
Well, he's moved. Going to carefully nudge the shift forwards. Still managed to take a reaction shot, which is strange. That's assuming it was the same Muton. Let's assume that it is. 65% chance to hit. Oh, well, we'll give it a go. Hit and a kill. Thank you very, very much, Plasma Shiv. Okay, sniper's not a lot of use there. But you have to be careful because he's even less useful if he's dead.
I'm on it.
Now I've got a feeling that that drone that we just shot over there with the alloy cannon was the drone from the other side that was with that cyber disc that got away. However,
Scanning target area.
that Muton Elite is still unaccounted for.
What could they possibly be storing in those tanks?
That is a sector pod. Balls. Balls.
Enemies in sight.
And now I've broken my own rule, dashed forwards and pulled 2 heavy floaters. Balls.
Damn it.
Right, you've missed, which is amazingly helpful. This is not a good start. You can't see anybody either. Let's start by trying to pull you up the stairs. Luckily that sector pod hasn't triggered yet. I'm fine with that. Okay. What's Assault's chance of hitting him? 85% with the alloy cannon. And it didn't kill him. Ah, but then I get my close quarters combat perk anyway and shoot him in the face.